Asking for it. A novel approach. Episode 2, Chapter 4. Michaela's bent double over a thick textbook in her lap, chatter of Starbucks conversations around her, an ache in her neck from too long in this posture. She frowns over the impenetrable text. Another 10 minutes of this and she'll have a headache. Brandy arrives, and it's a benediction. With a silent sigh of relief, Michaela abandons her efforts to grasp the intricacies of introductory HTML and web page design. Brandy is in her late 20s. At a glance, she evokes an advertisement, the slim fit girl, the ponytailed mother of none, sugar-free cereal and a smoothie on the suburban breakfast table next door. They fall to discussing Brandy's recent suitors, how they show up unannounced, interrupt her personal training sessions where she works at abs and jabs, discomfiting her clients in the process. It's like, hello, personal boundaries? I mean, please. Oh, I wish I had your boundaries. Yeah, and then finally Jim turns up, the one guy I actually want to talk to, and my fatty is all like, me, what about me? I haven't been laid like ever. So, what, am I his mommy? Supposed to hold his hand or something? I was like, I'm just talking to this guy. I mean, I can watch you and talk to him, okay? Hello, multitasking, heard of it? So, where did we leave off last time? Was it the big spender? Or was it Jungle Jim's new competition? Oh, let's see. Bim, the abs master, is the one maxing out my text time. But obviously, shopping is still a priority. Here, Brandy stretches out a tanned and toned leg for Michaela to admire a gold anklet set with party-colored gemstones that strangely don't actually clash with her turquoise Asics trainers. Spendy's still good to me, but it's hella sad sometimes, you know. He acts all palsy, like he thinks we're the same age or something. I'm like, no, I came out to the mall with you. I am not going to a bar now. I mean, I do have a life, you know. Hello, and a couple of abs masters. They share a laugh at this. A boy waiter hovers in their general vicinity, fussing with the bussing of a nearby table. Brandy raises an eyebrow, and they dissolve into another fit of giggles. So how's it going with you? Oh, please. That's not my field of expertise. And that is not an answer? Oh, all right, I don't know. I might have a knucklehead on my hands. Brandy frowns. Knuckles are not sexy. Michaela says nothing. What? They just aren't. You're the authority. Oh my God. No, I am not. Oh, you so are. It's all supposed to be business. I don't know. We're working together. I beat the living crap out of him on video. I don't think it's love. Did you think about him when you were brushing your teeth last night? My knuckles were sore. Ha! Chapter 5. Michaela is administering another undefended beating. The sun has gone down below the green shroud of Dick's backyard fence, but the heat simmers on. Over the past 2 weeks, the Edge has maintained his perfect punching bag status. Michaela is big enough to rock him pretty good when she gets going, but his hands never come up. His fight is more with the ground and getting back up off it. She still hasn't floored him for real, but getting up again is sometimes tough when they've been at it for a while. Gravity itself has become his nemesis. Babes the Bash has not, as Dick predicted, generated a ready supply of qualified volunteers for the fall guy role. Inwardly, the Edge rejoices at the prospect of continuing to serve as Michaela's meat. Their online success has not been overwhelming, but Michaela's hitting harder every day, and the Edge has gone from strength to strength in his own role of willing punk. He can actually look grateful, while still woozy from a good smack to the head. The price of his success is beginning to show, though. The wear and tear on his face alone is well established. Above his shirt collar, the souvenir lumps, little cuts and bruises that he shows the workaday world are gory enough. Then there is the body bruised, a tapestry of blue-green, blacks and yellows, back perpetually aching, internal organs pummeled under the artillery of Michaela's favored Nikes, boots, and street shoes. Even shoeless, the sandpaper soles of her solid bare feet have scuffed every inch of them raw. Having dished out a long series of blows, knees and fists for the most part, Michaela struts away from her staggering punching bag. Rather, she appears to walk away, then spins around, burying her right heel deep in the Edge's groin. Caught off guard, he doubles over to an instinctive self-preservation crouch. Michaela merely follows her momentum around to knee-bash the head bowed before her. As it bounces up like a volleyball, it's child's play to spike it back down with an elbow hammer. The Edge's stunned collapse she takes for his usual playing to the camera. Working her persona, Michaela the battering dame flaunts her invincibility. She prods the Edge's windpipe with the outside edge of one foot, while winking at the camera. When his vision swims back from the dark, a wobbly image of Michaela towers above, still half choking him. She looks back down at him and her expression changes, rapidly, from camp cruelty to gathering concern. The Edge plays his recovery off as if not having lost consciousness. "You all right, Edgy?" She removes her foot from his throat. The rough blue tensor bandage she wears for ankle support leaves a mark on his skin. "Shh, you're gonna wreck the scene. What the fuck are you talking about? You were out, weren't you?" The Edge tries to dismiss the idea with a pfft and attempts to rise. Michaela replaces her foot on his throat, smiling broadly now, looking avidly into his eyes. "You were. I knocked you out." The Edge raises his hands above his head as if in mock surrender. Okay, you got me. Now shut up, would you? We're taping, you know." "Taping?" Pfft. She lunges at Joey, and he wheels away from her, all but dropping his camera and running for cover in the house. Realizing she has inadvertently put more pressure back on the throat beneath her foot, Michaela eases off and regards the Edge with new interest. A big warm blossom of blood had filled his vision. The ringing in his ears and the pain throbbing suddenly behind his left cheekbone combined to obscure the dull ache in his groin, the searing pulse of blood in his swollen lips, and the variously punished muscle groups. For one suspended moment, all was perfect in the Edge's world. For all intents blind, yet he saw the indelible image of his assailant supremely astride the known world. The way he imagines the earliest conquistadors appeared godlike on the Inca's horizon. No hammered metal helmet, no thigh-high leather boots, but that same creamy complexion, same dark brows above the dark eyes, quick to blaze. Michaela Mendoza is still panting a little. She stands 5 feet 10 inches above the 5'6" man sprawled at her feet. Her jaunty, boyish eyebrows ride above brown eyes, a symmetry of square jaw and high cheekbones enlivened by full and mobile lips. Every time he looks at her, the Edge sees her as if for the first. There is a fine sheen of sweat established over her shoulders, square yet smooth, revealed by the black cutaway sport tank she wears. Between tank and black stretch shorts are solid abdominals, disguised by a girlish swell of belly. The half-inch padded leather gloves that buffer her knuckles add heft to her hands, complement the meaty upper arms. The chunky black Nike trainers she often wears do the same for her swollen quads and calves. She's given the Edge long enough to come around. Feigning boredom, she now gives him a nudge, more of a light kick in the face. "Come on, get up. We're not done here." He is back on his feet one wincing moment later, and Michaela resumes her menacing circling, throwing little jabs, picking and poking until she's good and ready. Then it's back to battering the muscular torso, teeing up his head time and time again. Not like she has to work for an opening. The Edge's hands still never leave his sides. It's taken a couple of weeks of shooting to undermine her natural reluctance to battering an undefended human face. The brutality of their scenes has escalated steadily, now to the point where she's hardly able to restrain herself. He is one tough son of a bitch, that's for sure. They go another 10 minutes before the Edge can credibly feign beaten submission and lay motionless while Michaela gives a cynical little victory speech over his vanquished body. She smiles for the camera, delivers a sing-song yada-yada about another unhappy customer, then sachets out of the frame, twitching her proudly sculpted ass. Joey takes his rig and beetles out of there, the gate creaking back half open in his wake. The Edge is taking his time getting up, and when Michaela has finished removing her knuckle wrap, she saunters back over to him. "You all right?" Yeah, I don't know. You missed some good face kicks there, though, on my knees at the end." "Oh, excuse me for not kicking your teeth right out." "No, seriously, though, it's what Dick was asking for last time." "Oh, Dick was asking, was he? You know what I think? I think you're the one asking for it. I think you're starting to get off on this shit." "Are you crazy? You don't think I've been kicking that smug bug of yours enough, huh? Hey, it's just the classic shot for these vids, right? Not my fault there's a ton of guys out there dreaming of a good girl beating, and 90% of them with a foot fetish to boot, so to speak." Right. All those other guys. All those pervs out there. They love this stuff, but not you, right? The Edge is standing again, the way he does for their videos. Semi-relaxed, arms at his sides, while Michaela leans in a little closer with every exchange. He meets her gaze, but his grin's grown just a tad sheepish. "So, admit it, you like a tough girl, don't you? Mama used to beat you with her slipper, didn't she?" "Oh, you are a crazy one. I'm working with a mad woman here." "Oh, yeah, I'm the crazy one." Michaela has 3 years Muay Thai kickboxing training behind her. She hoists her right knee above hip height. Her eyes she keeps on the edges, while she slowly extends lower left leg up and straight out toward him. Her balance is good. She can hold this pose for quite a while. Toes pulled back, exposing their grubby underpads just beneath the Edge's nose. "Come on, tough guy, give him a kiss." The Edge smiles, amused. "Crazy. Crazy is as crazy does. Come on now. Not even a teensy little kiss for Michaela?" He hesitates, worries he'll begin to blush, then finally gives a little shrug and plants a chaste peck on the dusty undersides of Michaela's toes. There, satisfied? His upper lip comes away with a dusty little mustache from the contact. Michaela can't suppress a little laugh. "Oh, no way I'm satisfied. I'm sure you can do better than that. Satisfied I was right, though, maybe." She brings her foot back down, spins on her heel, and makes for the gate, throwing her coquettish grin over a shoulder and parting. Chapter 6. Shooting Script. Extreme Michaela. Rights reserved. El Abierti. Open on a desolate Los Angeles boulevard. Edge of town feel. Camera dollies from sidewalk. There are stricken men all over the ground. We pass macho assholes and asshole effeminate types, hotshot businessmen and hard-ass bikers. There's a pile of bloods, gangbangers, slumped comatose just up the pavement from a pile of crips. Against a hazy magenta sunset, Michaela's unmistakable muscles and curves stride off in silhouette. Lance Abierti is working from home. He's working hard to a self-imposed deadline. A triple espresso and a side glass of mineral water sit on an end table beside him. His avocado leather couch is a little too cushy for writing, but his ass got sore after a couple hours on the tall stool at his kitchen's island counter. He wants to see Michaela moving to Hollywood within the year. He envisions strategic bit parts in the right company, a racy exposure piece with one of the TV journals, revelation of some A-list face as a closet submissive maybe. Then, eventually, the film deal. Vehicle for Michaela's brand of bratty, sensual bully. Strangely, perhaps alarmingly, Lance is even taking a stab at writing something for her himself. Lance's heroine is always right, and he hardly sees the irony in this. Which is the real heroine, anyway? The one he's writing gets superimposed over the superanimate form of Michaela as she exists in his mind, and he is working very hard to keep this creation from slipping too far out of sync with the real Michaela. Why? Well, Lance wonders. Is a real writer work from a truly blank page? Subjugating his characters utterly? Reformatting from the ground up? Michaela heroine is moving through a Los Angeles populated with a random collection of Californicators, Hiltons and Kardashians, Red Hot Chili Peppers and Arnold the Governator. In short, a place very like the veritable, incorporated City of Angels. Under the rows of bending palms, along sand beaches, and in the chic homes of executive producers, Michaela heroine is kicking ass. Just like the real Michaela, but unlike the real one, the heroine is throwing her punches in public. It only makes Hollywood sense that Michaela heroine hasn't had her ass sued and tossed behind bars. Is truth stranger than fiction? In reality, Michaela pummels her victim with impunity. No retribution, no holds barred. On paper, it just makes no sense. Truth is stranger, perhaps, but fiction's harder to write. The heroine is always right. Lance reminds himself repeatedly. The real Michaela is a regular force of nature, and she makes a very big impression. Perhaps the most poignant part of that impression is evoked. Is she even doing the evoking? Or is he merely imagining things? His mind filling in blanks Michaela sagely leaves open to interpretation. She has Lance's imagination running hot. That much is for sure. He needs to be careful, channel his energies into something productive, and not end up pulling on his junk all day. Of course, wooing Michaela's real-life affections might preempt that problem. But then, that would entail mixing business with pleasure in a way he's not sure he's ready to take on. No, he'll concentrate on getting Michaela set up in the business, fishing for that angle that will take her out of the smut game. When he's out of creative juice, Lance closes his MacBook Air, closes his eyes, and slumps deeper into the suede embrace of his avocado couch. The wall of glass behind him admits a windswept Atlantic light. The room's ceiling is mirrored. It slopes down from the glass wall into the room at an angle of about 30 degrees. The effect is one of bringing the blue-gray expanse of ocean rippling up in and over the apartment's sparse furnishings. A solitary picture hangs on the cream wall opposite the couch. It's a Hockney, genuine, albeit a smallish one. Wind-blown Martha's Vineyard, maybe? Picket fence and sand horizon. A cartoonist's conception, Lance thinks. Not for the first time since he bought it at auction in New York. What happens when Michaela forsakes him and his services? He's not getting any younger. Even if he took the plunge and wooed her, he has money, but he doesn't trust it. He doesn't have the money gene. It's not his religion. Long ago he joined the Church of Looking Good. There was safety and suavity, he figured. He held a pew in the Church of Hard Work as well. Even if he can build something for her, is Michaela in it for the long haul? His phone is purring in his pocket. He pets it absently, drifting off on a tidal fatigue. From far off, a silent scream issues obscurely, colors the darkness a blood red. Munch's aubergine head bends forward, hangs inverted, begins to swing in space. infinite wail of despair. The dream's soundtrack crackles of a sudden, a percussive puckata 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 puckata. The hanging bulb of a speed bag is stitched to neon green and black leather panels. Michaela finds her rhythm. The bag turns a forest green blur. The puckata 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 speeds up and blurs as well, becoming a relentless rhythmic tattoo. Sweat runs back up the big girl's forearms from her cycling fists. At the elbows it joins twin rivers running from her armpits and drips steadily down onto worn gym mats. The dusty rubber there darkens into patches, then pools. Viewed aerially, they resemble darkening continents or oceans converging. Sudden catastrophic shift to perspective of the drowning doomed. Through a deepening liquid lens, a glass darkly, the shadowy colossus towers above, fists hammering dully, everlastingly. Shelves of mountain crumble into the sea. The avocado couch is clammy beneath Lance Abiarty as he wakes, his brow feverish. The condo's AC is like a morgue. And thus ends part 1 of 7 in Asking for It, a novel approach.